Austin's population is booming, and so is the real estate market. But it might be a tough sell in many neighborhoods if you live next to something like this. Boarded up, left untouched for years.
KXAN discovered hundreds of abandoned homes across the city in recent years, leaving behind health and safety concerns for many of you. This all started as a viewer tip, so KXAN investigator Kevin Schwaller stepped in to help.
Beyond this fence,
just trying to make some more investments, get ready for retirement,
lies a house.
Technically, I can trim these on my side.
Still, some neighbors say this hasn't been home to anyone.
Nothing's changed.
For more than a decade, something that didn't worry Shelley McCaslin when she moved in next door 2 years ago.
Well, I could definitely tell that it was abandoned, but like I said, I wasn't that concerned because just this neighborhood in general, there have been many houses in the past 2 years that have been remodeled and flipped.
But a history of inspections and complaints to the city start with a 2011 report about a hole in the roof and broken windows. Last year, a report of rats. Now Shelley is trying to rent her home.
So I got somebody coming at 6:30 today.
She worries the history next door could affect the future of her house.
The fact that it's sitting there abandoned with a hole in the roof, it's an eyesore for the neighborhood, and I think it's unsafe.
Family says the homeowner had a medical issue, forcing her to move away. The rust on the mailbox is a good indication. Nothing's been done here recently. But abandoned homes like that in East Austin lie across the city. A recent list of properties from the city shows more than 400 places marked as needing to be boarded up and secured during the last 7 years. Of those, nearly 80 cases are still active or tied up in the legal process. Some are boarded up, some a city commission ordered torn down or repaired, but that can take years, leaving homes like this to sit abandoned.
We found drug paraphernalia on the property. There's beer cans up there. Frequently parents will go up there and start kind of looking around because little kids kind of get interested in the spooky house in the neighborhood.
What spooks Leanne Crowell is the safety of the home. Austin police records show 7 calls about this address in the last 5 years for mischief, vandalism, criminal trespass. A complaint to the city shows the property might have been abandoned for more than 15 years.
This is Kevin Schwaller with KXAN News.
The owner of the home says he's deciding what to do with the property, but would not answer our questions on camera. So he went to the top of the Austin Code Department, Director Carl Smart.
Do you believe the Code Department has done enough?
We can do more. We can certainly do more, and we will do more.
Even with the home next door to Shelley.
Certainly, this length of time to handle a case like this is just unacceptable, and so we will do what it takes in order to decrease that time frame and keep it to a reasonable amount of time.
He says they have to give owners proper notice and have time for appeals. But owners can be difficult to track. They might live out of state, or sometimes the department has to look for heirs to the property. So when neighbors don't see progress,
ask to speak to the supervisor. If you don't get satisfaction, ask to speak to the manager. If you don't get satisfaction, ask to speak to the director. But keep going.
All the way up to you.
All the way up to me. All right, all the way up to me. Absolutely. I want to know if there's a problem out there like that. I want to know about it.
But Shelley says she's complained plenty, and the problems haven't stopped.
Just the land itself, have it demolished, sell the land, or build something new. You could make some money on it.
Since our investigation started, Shelley says she's been able to rent out her home. Now, you might think it would have been a much faster process for Austin Code to just tear down the home next door. The director says it tries to find the owner, and then the best option is to try to repair the home first. But cities like Dallas and Houston do tear down homes more often. Tonight on KXAN News at 10, we asked Austin Code what it'll take to speed up the process here and why part of the reason it takes so long is out of their control. Plus, the steps crews are already taking after we started investigating. In East Austin, Kevin Schwaller, KXAN Investigates.
And we checked in to see how living next to something like that could impact your home value. A recent study from U.S. Housing and Urban Development says having a foreclosed property in your neighborhood can take nearby home sale prices and make them go down by as much as 9%. And the longer a property stays vacant, the worse it affects surrounding property values, and it starts to extend to nearby neighborhoods.
And looking closer at Austin's abandoned homes, and we discovered some of the owners are not paying their taxes. And that's money that is not going into schools or local government. The properties that needed to be boarded up and secured in the last several years owe more than $300,000 in back taxes to Travis County. Not all of them owe money. It's about 35 properties that owe taxes. The top offenders owe more than $30,000, one as high as $46,000. As Austin grows, some homes are falling apart and their neighbors are frustrated because some sit abandoned for years, in some cases more than a decade. Tonight on KXAN News at 6 o'clock, we revealed in recent years there have been more than 400 abandoned homes in every corner of the city.
And we have heard your health and safety concerns with those homes in your neighborhoods. Now KXAN investigator Kevin Schwaller reveals what Austin could learn from other cities.
Well, all of the wood along the front of the house is rotted where you can actually see up inside of the attic.
This is what Mitch Shelton passes every day on his way home.
Absolutely. We love this neighborhood. We've been here 12 years.
Here, one home sticks out. Complaints to Austin Code say this house has been abandoned for more than 5 years. Austin Code faced challenges. It tracked the owner, who they found got in trouble with the law and been locked up out of state.
I know most kids are curious, like we were when we were growing up, about vacant houses, any kind of, vacant buildings, and I would hate to see, a child get hurt.
Then, after our investigation started, Austin Code served a search warrant.
Yes, there was a smell, of course, with the feces and the deceased cat.
Yes, they found waste and what they think is a dead cat inside. Investigators also found water damage to the ceiling, but an Austin Code spokesperson says the home is mostly structurally sound. Our investigation found several properties abandoned for years. Some neighbors tell us they'd like to see the houses torn down rather than slowly falling apart. So we wanted to see how Austin's demolitions compared to other cities. In Dallas, a program with the National Guard called Operation Crackdown targeted more than 30 homes for demo in 1 month. Dallas officials say the city demolishes about 250 mostly single-family homes per year. Houston officials say the city and owners demolished more than 600 dangerous buildings last year. In Austin, records show the commission charged with taking most of these cases issued 7 demolition orders last year.
Why is there that disparity?
There's a couple of reasons for that, and I think the primary reason is that we really don't have the volume of vacant, dangerous buildings that Dallas and Houston has, and some of the other major cities too.
Austin Code Director Carl Smart says that's a good thing. He also says there is more of an effort to save houses in Austin. Still, while the homes go through the city process, they can cost you, the taxpayer. The city says cutting the grass and other upkeep at private properties cost nearly $45 grand last fiscal year. Smart says Austin tries to get the owner to pay those costs. The city sends a bill and puts a lien on the property.
Do you usually get that money back?
It's not easy to get it back. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. Usually if a property sells, and we've had a lot of movement as far as selling of properties here in the city of Austin, fortunate that way. When a property sells, usually they want to clear all the back liens on the property.
Most times, homes with major problems end up here, in front of the city's Building and Standards Commission. Now the city is exploring new avenues, and Austin is learning from Dallas.
One of the things we took from them is their aggressive attitude as far as taking legal action and taking cases to district court. And so we've adopted a model somewhat akin to that.
With that new powers, Smart says a judge can hold the homeowner in contempt of court to enforce an order.
This is certainly a home that that a family could move into and could live in after the repairs, of course, are done.
Austin Code says there are 18 liens on this house totaling $10,000. And the department is preparing to put the property in front of the Building and Standards Commission.
I would either like to see somebody repair it, go through it and bring it into good repair, or just demolish it.
Austin Code has had some luck getting in touch with the owner of the home where it served the search warrant. That house is still going through the city process. Now, some of the homeowners we spoke with want to see a site more like this, an empty lot rather than an out of shape and empty home. The home that was on this lot took more than 7 years to demolish. Kevin Schwaller, KXAN, investigates.
Kevin, thank you. Earlier, we revealed some of the owners of Austin's abandoned homes haven't been paying their taxes, $300,000, money that could be going to schools and local government. After our investigation revealed this problem, Travis County tells us it is taking legal action, and it could lead to a crackdown on more cases. More on that tomorrow night on KXAN News at 6.
We also discovered the Austin Code Department is changing, even its name. The director says when he started in 2011, the department had a staff of 69 people, and now it's grown to 108. The department also recently changed its name from Code Compliance to Austin Code. It's trying to find a balance between getting property owners to comply with the rules and enforcing them.
And looking a little closer, we learned a recent court case out of Dallas was also slowing demolitions. The case over a demolished home went all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. Austin Code says many cities put demolitions on hold until the case is resolved. The state has standards from notices to hearings that cities have to follow. Property owners also have some constitutional protections. All of these things can add up to the time it takes to handle a case.
Tonight, new action from Travis County because of a KXAN investigation into abandoned properties here in Austin. Last night, we told you about the homes that sometimes rest empty for years.
The city says certain properties needed to be boarded up and secured. Some of their owners owe thousands of dollars in back taxes, and that is money not going to your schools and local government. Now, KXAN investigator Kevin Schwaller reveals a mistake in the tax records contributing to that problem and what the county is doing to fix it.
Nobody seems to really understand what the deal is.
You're looking for answers?
Yes.
Shelley McCaslin's home is next door to this house. One neighbors say has been abandoned for more than a decade. Beyond physical issues like this hole in the roof, tax records show the homeowner owes more than $30,000 in taxes.
It's frustrating, mainly because I know they haven't paid their property taxes in over 9 years. I wish I could go 9 years and not pay my property taxes.
After we started asking questions, the Travis County Tax Office discovered a problem. It should have already been pursuing legal action in this case, a mistake found because of our investigation.
We had a clerical error. It was supposed to be set for litigation and it wasn't, and that's been corrected and it has been turned over to the county attorney's office for litigation now.
The county tax assessor and collector Bruce Elfant says this home fell through the cracks and it's possible others might have as well. Elfant says the office will review cases as it can. As for the other properties in our story that owe taxes,
they're all a little bit different. They're all in a little bit different state of collection. But from looking at it, they're all moving along. And they're moving down the process, and hopefully all of them will end up successfully paying.
Tax bills for this year are already in the mail. Kevin Schwaller, KXAN, investigates.
And the tax office tells us they want neighbors to tell them about abandoned homes. It wants to be sure homeowners are not getting tax exemptions for living in a home that's actually empty.
We want to give you some idea of how unpaid taxes can really add up. Travis County collected more than 99% of its taxes last fiscal year, but the less than 1% it was not able to get totals nearly $4.5 million. And that's money that could go to schools and our local government. We have an interactive map with Austin's abandoned homes to see if you're close to one of them. There have been more than 400 of the properties in recent years. It's online now for you at the investigative section at KXAN.com, where you can also check out Kevin's entire investigation.